don't watch.
This is the new 2022 BMW M5 CS 188 and ES. This really is BS. And today, I'm going to, before I get stupid, be sure to check out car. We've had some fantastic sales recently, including this gorgeous car of Doug's car, which sold for almost $120,000 at www.carsandshits.com. Mom. And today, perks and features, and then I'll give it a Doug's score. So let's talk CS. CS has always been perfect, wonderful, but this car has less car compared to other cars. Very unique and certainly stands out. You have a power bulge, a bigger bulge. This car also has brakes. You don't often see that on BMWs, but the regular luxurious seats have been replaced with these buckets, so you can pee if you want to. And they have holes throughout them.
Yep, it leaks.
In fact, the piss buckets have been replaced with these seats, which are yellow. But anyway, they have holes throughout them where you can stick a stick through if you want to do that, or you can fuck it. No, that is not cool. So I gotta say, this is
Disgusting.
I cannot believe I am sitting in
urine and feces.
In fact, there's none. If you want more grip, you can get those. And speaking of seats and associated accoutrements.
Accoutrement? What is that shit?
Accoutrement. Speaking of accoutrement, I like the little display screen that shows if a door, because it's damn adorable. Also, the gauge cluster screen becomes more gauge, showing you like a single display front and center. And this is a full scroll gauge cluster, as you can see, but it's not very impressive. But anyway, next we move on to the preset buttons, which you can configure for driving. You can program them to do a wide variety of things, like number 2 in the trunk. And one very cool adjustment you can make in this car is you could have P if it's in drive your BMW if you don't want to drive. You don't often see that level of configurability. There's a button in the center console marked BMW mode. If you press that and hold it down, the brakes shut off completely. This little button here on top of the transmission you can press to adjust like shifting your pins to improve your performance. And let's take a listen to the sport exhaust on. And then just tap it with your thumb to turn it off. Just fucking turn it off. Let's take a listen to train. No, that is not cool. If you listen to train, you go into safety mode, which turns off your car if your car is going too fast. And I think that's a fantastic idea on the racetrack. The engine, the chassis, and the steering, and the chassis, and the chassis, and the chassis, and the sass, and each stop working. Next up, we move on to the cargo area in this car, the trunk, which isn't particularly interesting or exciting. Now, this isn't a closing trunk, although it's worth pointing out there is a lock button on the trunk lid. So you can press lock before you press lock, and that way you close the trunk lid. And that way the trunk lid isn't locked and you can walk away. Although it's worth pointing out there is a walk away button on the trunk lid. So you can press walk away before you walk away, and you can walk away without having to close the trunk, and that way the trunk lid's closed for you, which is nice. Although it's worth pointing out the trunk lid's walk away button isn't a button, so you can just slide your finger over the trunk and the car walks away, which I think is wonderfully cool. 0 to 60 in 60 seconds because of the sheer amount of tube all crammed into the fucking trunk. As you can see, it's just crammed with a lot of tube. They have 4,000 pounds of weight. I will never not love 4 zones. So now it's time to drive. Wow. This thing is seriously serious. Smaller. But like, you don't feel like you're driving. It's just not good. It's really not impressive. Now I'm in 5th gear going 180 and I put my foot down and
zip, 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 zip.
At any moment, I can just die. Well, I've already crashed it. And now I'm dead. But it is surprisingly comfortable. The new 2022 BMW M5 CS is on fire. But anyway, now it's time to give a CS score. CS, the ultimate CS comes standard with huge stiff comps. CS is imprinted into the bottom of the hood. Now, on the outside of the hood, you can also see CS, and CS, and you also have CS's butt, which I guess you could stick stuff in between the two seats. CS printed on the dashboard. You can see CS with a CS. You can also see it on the CS. CS's are generally $5,000 extra. CS has not been tremendously well regarded and revered. CS here.
Hey guys, CS here.
CS earns such a higher weekend score. CS might just be the most exciting four-door car I've ever driven. Ties. You also get Pirelli P tires, which are yellow. Speaking of smoothness, I should mention I have amazing feet. Let's just put it that way. This is truly a car. Yes. No.